Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's go through the RAG evaluation in Amazon Bedrock. You create a RAG application, and until you know how the RAG application is behaving, you cannot be sure that okay, this RAG application is top notch, right? In this video, let's go through how to create that step by step. We are going to use LLM to compute the metrics. We are going to choose the metrics that we want because not all metrics might be essential for your application. You can even compare different configurations when you create the evaluations. I will be walking you step by step. We'll be creating a knowledge base. We'll be creating a golden dataset because there is some formats that you need to follow to create the golden dataset. You need to provide some permissions for that bucket in order to work for the evaluations. We will be evaluate the responses with that golden dataset, and you can even compare. Let's say you create application, change some configurations, you have two evaluations, and you can see which one performs the best. So you can use the one that performs the best in your production environment. By the end of the video, you will see something like this. Let me load it again here. So this is one of the example that I have already run here. So this is the correctness one. I have created three different question answering pairs to check. You can see the correctness is 1, helpfulness is 0.83, and harmfulness is 0. If you go down, you can see a graph, or let's say the diagram here, which says there are total number of prompt is 3, average score is this, and if you click on this one, it shows for each and every questions how many of those are correct and how many are not. If you scroll down, there is this correctness 0 score. If you click here, you can see different things. If I scroll little bit here, you can see you can even open it in a bigger window, and you can see how many retrieved sources are there for this question. This is the answer being reported from the RAG applications. It retrieves the 5 different sources from where the answer was taken, and this is the ground truth that we provided when we create the golden dataset. And then LLM, the one that you choose, will provide the score for us. This is how we can create a RAG evaluation in Amazon Bedrock. Now let's get into it. First, let's go into Amazon Bedrock. In order to create the RAG applications, you need to go to these knowledge bases. And before that, what I want to mention is when you create the knowledge base, it throws the error if you are a root user. So you need to be not a root user to create the knowledge base. Please keep that into account. And I'm now in North Virginia. As you can see here, you can choose different regions, but not all regions support the evaluations. That's the reason I'm going through North Virginia for now. I will go in the knowledge bases. You can see this is the one that I have already created, but I will create a new one. You can see there are different knowledge bases with the vector store, knowledge base with structured data store, and knowledge base with Kendra Gen AI index. Not all these are available in all regions, but we are going to go with the vector store. You can give some random name here. I can say YouTube Bedrock, just an example. This is optional, we don't need to provide it. And this is the IAM permissions. You can use the existing one or create one. For me to know that I am creating for this one, I will just give here YouTube. There are different data sources that you can provide. Amazon S3, web crawler, also custom, and there are also a third party which are SharePoint, Salesforce, and Confluence, which needs extra configurations. But for this case, we are going to go with Amazon S3. In order to go with the Amazon S3, you need to create a bucket and then upload your dataset. We can go to the S3 bucket. For that, you can just go into the search bar here and type S3. I'll open in a new tab. Here I have already created the folder. Here you can see I have this test data science basics, and inside there I already have this attention all you need PDF. But for this case, what I will do is create a new one. I will create a bucket. I can give a new name. I can say Bedrock YouTube. Then I create a bucket. So now here is the Bedrock YouTube. I will go inside this, and here I will upload a file, and what I'm going to upload is attention is all you need a PDF, right? The data set is now provided. Remember that this is not the golden data set, but this is the data set that is going to be fed for the RAG application. So we have our data set here. Now I will go back into this one where we have this knowledge base being created, Amazon S3. We go down here, it says next, say YouTube Bedrock data source, and I will say here from this AWS account. We are not going to go with other AWS account, and from here we can choose which dataset. I will click this browse S3, and here you can see there is this Bedrock YouTube SK. That is what we created, and I'll go inside this, and here is the attention all you need. I will choose this one. So this is the data set that is going to be provided for this knowledge base. I'm not going to go through the advanced parsing things. I can create a new video for you because there is LLM parsing and data automation, all the different things here. But we are going to go with the Amazon Bedrock's default parser in this case. Chunking strategy also, there are different chunking strategies, but we are going to go with the default chunking. And now I can just leave as it is here. I will go next. And now if you know what RAG applications, we have the data set, we have the parser and everything, and we need to have the embedding model to embed that particular chunks from the Bedrock, right? So here if you click the select model, you can choose either Cohere or Amazon. For this case I will just go with the Titan text embedding version 2 on demand 1. I will apply. And once this is applied, you can go and see the additional configurations. You don't need to do anything. Here you can choose the vector dimensions. Let's just go with the default ones. And now the vector store, right? We need to store that somewhere, right? And Amazon Bedrock provides you all the different things here, but we are going to go with the Amazon open source serverless. We don't need to do anything. We'll go next. This is the review and create. Everything looks fine. I will say create knowledge base. If you were using the root user, when you create the knowledge base, then it would show you the error here that okay, you cannot create the knowledge base when you are the root user. So it will take some time to create because it needs to go through the open source, create the collection, create the vector store for us. Now I'll go to this blog post which is provided by the Amazon. This is the new RAG evaluations and LLM as a JAWS capabilities in Amazon Bedrock. I will provide the link in the description. You can go through this. But what we need to do now is, in order to go into the evaluation part, we need to create a golden dataset. And that golden dataset is in the JSON-L file format. And then we need to have certain things like this. There is certain format that you need to follow, right? Let me go. Now it says knowledge base is created. That's fine. And now once it is created, this is the most important thing, that you need to click the one that is being created and you need to sync it. Meaning that once you sync, you can see here the system is syncing your data source. First you just pointed which data you want to use and now it is synced. If I now quickly go here, Anthropic, I can choose the model, maybe 3.5 on demand or inference profiles on demand. I will say apply, and here I can ask the questions, right? So maybe let's say, what is the paper about? If I ask this question, it already provides the answer. Okay, because if you are too fast, sometimes the vector store or the collection is not being created, but in this case it's already created. It says okay, the authors introduce a model that relies on self-attention layers and all the different things. Yes, now we can ask the questions for this particular knowledge base. So I have already created some of the questions here, but I will first ask the question, right? This is the golden data set. I will show you how you can do that, but I will just ask here, how many identical layers does the decoder has, right? I will go here. I will go to the knowledge base and ask the question. It will go through that document we provided and provide the answer for us. Let's see what will be the answer here. Your request rate is too high. Reduce the frequency of request. I don't know. Sometimes I face this issue also in Bedrock, although I am not using any concurrent questions and so on, right? But for this, we can just refresh the page. That's what I do. And now I go here, select the model. I will go to Anthropic, and when you go to the Anthropic 3.5, it says that error. But if you go with Haiku, it will not. Just play around with it. For some weird reason, that is the error that I also get. So I go here, apply, I will ask the question, how many identical layers? I will run this, and let's see. Now it says the decoder in the transformer model is composed of a stack of 6 identical layers. That's correct. And it even provides us the resources from where it is taken. You can click this show details, and here this is the chunk 1, and there's the metadata associated with that. It says here this is the S3 location from where the PDF or the document was taken. The answer is in the page number 3, and other different metadata information that you need, because this is really important when you create your applications and if you want to show the page numbers and other stuffs for your users. So yeah, this looks great. We created the knowledge base, right? If you go back to our diagram here, we created the knowledge base, we uploaded the data, we created the knowledge base. Now let's go and create the golden data set, because now we are going into the evaluation part, right? Yeah, we tried this here and it says 6, right? When you are going into the users, they can ask as many questions as they want from that particular document, and you don't know if that is correct or not. Before rolling into production, you need to make sure that some threshold has been achieved so that you are confident to roll the applications to the end user. For this, there is the evaluations, and again, this evaluation is not in all regions, so you need to be careful. But now I am in North Virginia, it is showing here. I can go to the evaluations, right? I can cancel this, and here there is 2 evaluations, model evaluations and RAG evaluations. We are going to go with the RAG evaluations. I have already created one, and we are going to create the new one here. So I'll say create, and you can give the name here. I will say YouTube, and description latest eval, just a sample name. Here you can choose the evaluator model, Haiku, Mistral, Llama 3.1, Sonnet, whatever you want. I will go with 3.5 Sonnet, and the tags, it's up to you if you want to give or not, and choose a knowledge base. So we created a knowledge base. Now we need to provide the knowledge base. Here we have 2 knowledge bases. This is the one that I created before, and this is the one that I created just now. I will choose the one that I want to do the evaluations. And there is also the retrieval only or retrieval and response generations. I will go with the retrieval and response generations. And now here is the response generator model, right? So there is 2 things here. One which does the evaluation, one which generates the response for your question. So I will choose again the same one that I used before, Anthropic 3.5 Sonnet, apply. You can choose whatever you want there. As you can see, I said compare different configurations and so on, right? So what you can do here is by default, there is some configurations there. But you can even go here in and click these configurations, and already here you can go and change the temperature, top P, top K, length, maximum length, and so on. You can provide the guardrails if you want. What is the source type? Override the default search. How many source chunks you want to have. By default it's 5. You can provide 2, 3, whatever you want, right? And there is the filters. You can provide the filters also. Query modifications. Do you want to break down the queries? You can even break down the queries, so split complex queries into multiple parts to get more relevant responses. You can even do that. Knowledge base prompt template, you can provide the system prompt for you. I'm just going to use the normal one in this case. And there is the guardrails. You can create the guardrails because I haven't created any guardrails here. So these are the things that you can change when you do the evaluations, but I'm going to use the template or the one that is being provided by default, right? This is now the part where I said you can choose the metrics, right? So here there is the helpfulness. You can choose the correctness, faithfulness, logical coherence, completeness, whatever you want to do. But for me, I will just choose the helpfulness and the correctness. That's enough for me for this demo. And in the responsible AI part, you can choose refusal, stereotyping, or harmfulness. I will choose the harmfulness for now. This is done, and now is the part where you need to provide the data set for the evaluations, and there is the results for the evaluations. So the data set for the evaluation, meaning the golden data set, and the results for the evaluation, meaning once the evaluation is done, it needs to store somewhere. right? These are the two things which you need to provide, and it has to be certain formats and permissions needs to be provided. If you go to this blog post again, as you can see here, this is the example that is being provided, right? And what I have already done is I have already created, this is the PDF that I'm going to use. Attention is all you need, right? From here I have chosen random 3 different questions and answer pair, which I just showed you before. But here you can see I'm saying here RAG evaluator JSON-L, and this is the same copy pasted, but I replaced the question and answer. So conversation tones, reference response text, and so this is the answer. The decoder is composed of a stack of n equals to 6 identical layers. That is the answer. And here you can see this is the prompt, this is the content, what questions you ask, right? So then here is how many identical layers does the decoder has. You can provide as many question pairs as you want. I have now this, right? And one thing is also that I have already uploaded this in my GitHub for you to go through it. So if you go inside the YouTube stuffs, and here I have this Bedrock RAG eval dataset. I will provide the link in the description. Inside here is the PDF that I have been using. This is the RAG evaluator JSON-L. You can take this or go into the blog post and take this. Now let's go to the S3 bucket. Here, attention all you need. We can now upload the golden dataset. I will go here and I will say add files. And this is the RAG evaluator JSON-L. And now I upload this here. So now I uploaded this. But remember, one thing is there, we need to provide the additional permissions. If you go here, it says this is the type, but here I specify the S3 location to store the results of the evaluation. The evaluation job requires that the S3 location is configured with the cross-origin resource sharing permission described in the Amazon Bedrock guide. So here you see the evaluation job requires that the S3 bucket is this. If you click this one, it will take you to the documentations. I just want to show you where it is, but here it doesn't point directly. You can search for evaluation. Let's see if there is some evaluate evaluation, evaluate the performance of Amazon Bedrock resources. Here you can see there is this knowledge base and course requirements. You go here and this is the example already being provided. You can copy this and read here. When you create a model evaluation job that uses the Amazon Bedrock console, you must specify a course configuration on the S3 bucket itself. This is a really important part because if you don't do this, then it will not work. We have this RAG evaluator. We have these two things here. We first create the folder where we want to store. RAG evaluation is the folder name I created. So this is where we want that to be stored, but it needs to be in the bucket level. So here in the bucket level, go to the permissions. And if you scroll a little bit down, there is this CORS, right? Cross origin resource sharing. Go here, edit this one. And this is the basic things that is needed. You can configure this only to your region or Bedrock, whatever you want to do. But this is the bare minimum thing that you need to provide. So it works. So this is done. I can save the changes. That's it. Now we have the golden dataset. We have the folder also to store the evaluations, right? So now if I go back here, I can browse here, right? I will go here and here I have these Bedrock SK, and here I have the dataset that I provided for the RAG evaluation. This is the JSON-L. I will choose this one. That's fantastic. I will again go browse for the evaluations. I go again inside this. There is this RAG evaluations. I will choose this one. That is also fine. But now the main thing is also the Amazon Bedrock IAM role permissions. So this one you can create yourself, or you can just ask here to create for you. You can just create a new service role, because if you go to this documentation here, it is mentioned. Let me show you. Here is this for service access. I need to create or provide this IAM service role that Bedrock can assume, and that allows access to the Amazon Bedrock and S3 resources used by the evaluation, right? It needs to read between these two things. But for us, it's simple. We can say create and use a new service role, and I can just give here SK, or I can say YouTube. just to know that it is being created. And now I can say create. So now you can see we specified all the necessary things, and you need to follow step by step what I did here. It says okay, hyphen, the name can have up to 50 characters. Okay, so I can say here some strange things in AWS or sometimes. So I will say YT, so it says I need maybe this one, yes, no underscores there, and this is what the created. I will create it. Now you can see that it is being created, and this process may take up to few minutes. You will be redirected to the main evaluation page once it is created. One thing to remember is if you cancel this, it will be cancelled and it will not be shown. So you need to wait some time in order to be it being created, and it redirects you to the evaluations page, and there you will see that it is in progress. So as you can see here, now it is redirected back here, and it is saying here that it is in progress. This will take some time, but this is the previous one that I have already created, and I will explain all the different things from this previous one. Once this is created, I will show you how you can compare the RAG evaluation. So here let's go into the earlier one that I created. I will go inside it. You can see the evaluation summary. If you click this, you can see what is the name, the total number of conversation tones, the evaluator model, the generator model, and all the informations that you need, right? And then here it will see you the metric summary, and all the small details are being provided here. What is the quality metrics, and here you can see the overall performance using metrics. Average score across all conversations. Closer to 1 is higher score, closer to 0 is lower score. For example, closer to 1 for the correctness means more correct answers. You can define the custom criteria to highlight any metrics that fall above or below this threshold. You can hover on top of this or click on this, and you can see what is this all about. Better towards 1, right? Is towards 1 is the better. Helpfulness also towards 1, it is better. You can go and read in the documentations all the different things, how it is being calculated and so on. On the higher level, just think that if it is greater towards 1, it's the better, and you can have some kind of threshold. If that threshold is defined, then you are confident that okay, we can now roll this into the production. And also this responsive AI metrics, harmfulness is 0. That is good, because towards 0 is better in this case, because harmfulness, if you click on this, you can see that 1 indicates fully harmful responses, 0 indicates entirely harmless responses, right? Here is the metrics. You can click on the metrics. Helpfulness, you can see it points here. You can see from this cool looking figure also what is it all about. You can click here and it opens this. It says okay, score equals 0.13. The filter is already there. You can clear the filters and so on. And there is the 5 responses, as I showed you before. Also there is the 5 default responses that is being taken. If I go here and make this bigger, it's easier to read. It provides the answer. This is the generation output. It is not being evaluated until now, and there is the 5 different retrieved sources. You can provide as many as you want. Here is the ground truth that we provided in the golden dataset that is being compared, and the score is provided here. You can go through and check some wrong answers also, how does it performs and so on. This is for the harmfulness. And now we go to the correctness. Here you can see the diagram. You can click on this one. It will show you all the different things. You can make it bigger and see all the answers and so on. And one thing is also, if you click on these answers or the scores that is being provided, it shows you why it provided that score for you. So you can just go ahead and read why it provided that score. It is the same also for the previous one. If I go here, why did it give 0.83? If you click any one of these, it will explain all the details why it provided and why it gives 0.83, and if there is some improvements that needs to be made or so on. And remember that is provided by the LLM itself. So LLM as a judge in our case, right? And then if you scroll a little bit down, there is harmfulness, and we don't have any harmful responses. So it says measures harmful contents in the responses, including hate, insults, violence, or sexual content, right? So we don't have any of this. You can click on this and you can go here, make this bigger, and see what is the actual answer that is given to you, what is the answer that you provided. and then this is the score that is being shown us, right? This is how you can quickly go into Bedrock, create your knowledge base, and also do the evaluations. I think evaluation is still ongoing. Let's see if it is already there, because it takes some time to do the evaluations. And remember, if you have more question answering pairs in the golden dataset, it will take more time, because here we just have 3. Still it is taking some time for us. You can see here it says it's still in progress. But if I go to the diagram here, we created the knowledge base, we created the golden data set, we provided required course permission on S3 bucket, we did the evaluate the response with the golden data set. This compare RAG evaluations is the one that we need to do, but as you can see, it takes some time. But what you can do is you can just click these two and then do the compare. It is still in progress, so it is not showing us the compare, but once you click these two, you can do the compare, and you will see the comparison in the blog post also. If you go a little bit down here, it is shown how you can do it. So here, this is the example that I showed until now, all the different things to do the comparison, comparing the evaluations. I'll provide the link in the description. So here you can choose and it says here in the at a glance tab, I see this. You can do the compare, and you can see at a glance evaluation, and you can see all the cool looking comparison diagrams, and you can compare which evaluations performs the best based on the knowledge bases you created. What you can do now is go back and forth changing the embedding model, or you can change the chunking mechanism, you can change the parsing mechanisms, you can even clean the PDF if needed, you can use LLM to do the parsing, whatever you want to do. Once you do the better knowledge base, you can do the same metrics evaluations and then see which one performs the best. The one that performs the best you can roll out into production, and now you are confident enough to say that okay, now the applications that I'm rolling into the production is good, because you have the threshold and you can demonstrate that to the stakeholders or the business units you want to present that, so they are also confident enough to say that okay, this AI applications is behaving as we expect. It is responsive. That is all I wanted to show you in this video. I hope now you can do RAG evaluations quickly in Amazon Bedrock. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Did you try it or not? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.